What's being built along the I-35 West Alliance corridor right now will define how North Texas grows for the next 30 years. Most people don't realize the full scale of it. This corridor is anchored by Alliance, Texas, Hillwood's 27,000-acre master plan development in North Fort Worth that has generated over $142 billion in regional impact since 1989. Over 600 companies, more than 73,000 direct jobs, names like Amazon, FedEx, Meta, Charles Schwab, and BNSF Railway. That's not a real estate story, that's an economic engine. And the housing market along this corridor exists because of it. Harvest, Pecan Square, Treeline, Landmark. Each community serves a different buyer, sits in a different location, and answers a different version of the same question. Where do I live in North Texas? If you've been tracking Landmark with us and want to understand how the rest of this corridor is developing, this is the next chapter. There's a 2,300-acre development in Flower Mound that most people in North Texas haven't fully dialed in on yet. This is Furst Ranch. And today, Alliance Network is giving you the full picture. 9 builders, 3 distinct neighborhoods, and price points starting in the mid-500s to over $2.5 million. Let's go. Let's put these two communities side by side for a moment. Landmark and Furst Ranch. Not to compare them as competitors, but to help you understand which story is yours. Landmark by Hillwood sits in southwest Denton at I-35 West and Robeson Ranch Road. 3,200 acres, zoned to Denton ISD with 747 lots in Phase 1 across 9 premium builders. Price points start in the high 300s and run to the mid 900s and beyond. Built around 1,100 acres of parkland, centered on Pilot Knob, the highest point in Denton, and backed by Hillwood's proven community infrastructure across the corridor. If you want the widest entry-level price range in a brand new master plan community on this corridor, Landmark makes a strong case. Furst Ranch sits at Highway 377 and FM 1171 in Flower Mound. 2,300 acres zoned to Argyle ISD. Lots range from 50 feet in Phase 1 up to 2 acres in Phase 3. Price points start in the mid-500s. Worth noting that entry-level pricing reflects homes with square footage just slightly under 2,000 square feet. So if you're looking at something larger, plan for north of 600 to 700,000 once you factor in square footage, options, and upgrades. Builders here offer a build process with significantly more design input than a standard new construction purchase. Same corridor, different school district, different lot scale, different buyer. If you need Argyle ISD, more land, or your search lives at a price point or customization level the current Landmark phase doesn't reach, keep watching. Furst Ranch is the western gateway to Flower Mound, which Livability named the #1 best place to live in the Southwest in 2025. The land has deep roots. Jack Furst, a Flower Mound native, developed this project in partnership with Hines, one of the most respected institutional real estate developers in the world. In April 2025, Hines sold Furst Ranch and 10 other master plan communities to Starwood Land in an $800 million transaction. What matters to buyers? Jack Furst remains personally involved as owner and development manager. The builder lineup stayed intact. The vision stayed intact. When institutional capital at that scale moves into a project and keeps the original team in place, that's a signal worth noting. The full development is 1,250 acres of single-family residential and a little over 1,000 acres of future mixed use. It's 3 neighborhoods. First move-ins expected summer of 2026. Full initial build-out runs 10 to 12 years. This is a long horizon. That means buyers getting in now are setting the foundation. The 3 neighborhoods define how Furst Ranch is structured, and they're designed for different buyers. High Plains is Phase 1, approximately 1,100 homes on 50 to 80-foot wide lots. This is where all current builder activity lives, with prices spanning from the mid-500s to the high 900s, depending on builder and lot size. Prairie Vista is phase 2, roughly 200 homes on half-acre to 1-acre lots. Pricing expected to be above $1 million. This is where the community starts to feel like estate living. Cross Timbers is the top of the range. 74 homes on 1 to 2-acre lots with pricing up to $2.5 million and above. There's nothing replicable about a 2-acre lot inside a master planned community in Flower Mound. This phase is a category of its own. Now, the school district. This is the detail that moves buyers specifically to this side of the corridor. Every home in Furst Ranch is zoned to Argyle Independent School District. Argyle ISD holds an A rating from the Texas Education Agency, 92 out of 100 on the State Accountability Index. Niche ranks it number 8 in all of Texas for 2026 with an A+ overall rating. In December of 2024, Argyle ISD purchased 35 acres inside Furst Ranch for future elementary and middle schools. This isn't a school district you're hoping stays strong. It's a district actively growing into this community. And if private school is a part of your conversation, Liberty Christian School sits right next door. Operating in Argyle since 1983, 9 builders. Here where things stand right now. Highland Homes was first out of the gate. Pre-sales launched in January of 2026 on 60 and 70-foot lots. Homes range approximately 2,800 square feet up to 4,700 square feet. Starting in the 800s, this is a semi-custom process, which means you have meaningful input into the design before the walls go up. Coventry Home brought the community's most accessible entry point. 50-foot lots, 8 floor plans from a little under 2,000 square feet all the way up to 3,200+ square feet, starting from the mid-500s. David Weekley is now selling on 50-foot lots from about 2,200 square feet up to 4,000, starting from 660s. Drees Custom Homes is now selling a little over 3,000 square feet up to about 4,600 square feet from the 877 to over $1 million+. This is where the build process starts to feel genuinely custom. Shattuck Homes is pre-selling about 2,500 square feet up to 45, from 769 to about 908. Tradition Homes is pre-selling on 80-foot lots from the 1.2 millions, from about 3,700 square feet to about 54. The upper end of the square footage range is a statement. There aren't many places in this corridor where you can build a 5,400 square foot home on an 80-foot lot inside a master plan community. Toll Brothers is opening for sales this summer on 2 collections, 70 and 80-foot lots, from roughly 3,000 square feet up to almost 6,000 square feet, starting in the low 900s. Toll Brothers' entry here is a signal in itself. Partners in Building is coming on at 80-foot lots from the 1.2 million. Full semi-custom process for the buyer who wants the most design input available. And Ashton Woods is confirmed in the lineup. Launch date not yet announced. First move-ins at Furst Ranch are expected this summer. If you've been waiting to start the conversation, the window to get ahead of that is now. One more development you need to know about. HEB. In May of 2025, the Flower Mound Town Council approved the parking configuration for a major grocer at Highway 377 and FM 1171. 733 spaces, roughly about 110,000 square foot store, and a fuel station. 2 months later, in July of 2025, HEB purchased approximately 22.8 acres at that exact corner within Furst Ranch. This will be the first HEB in Flower Mound. No confirmed opening date as of yet, but the land is purchased, the municipal approval is in place, and the commercial infrastructure is being designed all around it. When a grocer of this scale makes that kind of capital investment it reshapes the value of everything around it. We'll track it as the timeline firms up. Beyond HEB, the broader vision for Furst Ranch includes walkable retail and dining districts, lake views, open-air gathering spaces. The centerpiece is a 97-acre central park with a 20-acre community activity center, resort-style pools, sports courts, and miles of trails threading all three neighborhoods together. This is a community designed around the natural North Texas landscape, built for families who want space, connection, and amenities that are actually worth using. Here's where we land. Furst Ranch is the right conversation if Argyle ISD is non-negotiable. If you want more land than most master plan communities on this corridor can offer. Or if your budget and expectations call for a build process with real design input. One thing we tell every buyer we work with, never contract directly with a builder without representation. We help save you time, energy, anxiety that comes from navigating a process this significant on your own. If you want that, reach out. Email us at firstranch@mirandarealty.team or just give me a call or text, 940-577-2051. Start the conversation. Subscribe to this channel. Alliance Network exists to cover this corridor the way it deserves to be covered. Not as a sales pitch, but as a market intelligence resource for buyers who take their decisions seriously. We'll keep reporting. We'll see you on the next one.